I'm Gleaves Whitney. These are some final thoughts, endnotes as it were, in my video essay, The Joy of the Liberal Arts in a Pandemic and Beyond. Call it giving credit where credit is due. 1. I dedicate this essay to Winston Eliot and the spirit of Odysseus who lives within him. Many of the thoughts in this piece grow out of our delightful conversations about the liberal arts, hard books, St. John's College, Eva Brann, and friendship. See my recent webcast with Winston at the Hauenstein Center for Presidential Studies website, gvsu.edu/hc. I hasten to add that Winston is not responsible for any errors in this work. 2. Time will tell the extent to which the coronavirus pandemic is changing life as we know it. Unprecedented is government's decision to shut down much of the U.S. to enforce social distancing. State governments. This in turn has caused the nation's economy to fall into the steepest recession ever. In March 2020, industrial production experienced its worst one-month drop since 1946. Consumer spending is also at unheard-of lows. As a result, revenues to government at all levels are catastrophically down. That means colleges and universities, my sector, are having to make major adjustments. They are moving courses online, eliminating marginal majors, releasing redundant administrators, furloughing staff, maximizing facilities, having campuses share more resources, shuttering financially vulnerable colleges, and adjusting to much lower revenue streams from government, donors, and students in enrollment. That's just the beginning of it. For more than a decade, university leaders have been spearheading structural changes, and the pandemic economy is now accelerating the transformation. We now find ourselves in the midst of a paradigm shift. No longer marketing mostly to 18-year-olds, college presidents are casting a wider net to all potential lifelong learners. No longer focusing just on the degree path, deans are bundling courses around specific skills needed in the marketplace. No longer limited by face-to-face instruction, professors are rapidly expanding the use of technology to deliver knowledge to learners around the world. In the new paradigm, a university's brand is no longer identified just with its classrooms and research labs, its football stadiums and upscale dormitories, but also by its global reach. That is the new mark of distinction and a predictor of its success. 3. On polarities, see Gleaves Whitney, The Fusionist Mind of Stephen Tonsor, in Modern Age, Winter 2019. 4. On balancing risks, see Gleaves Whitney, The COVID-19 Crisis, the Need to Balance Public Health and Economic Stability, at The Imaginative Conservative. 5. For the data correlating unemployment rates and drug overdoses and suicides, see Betsy McKay, We Must Count the Deaths from Shutdowns as Well as from Coronavirus, New York Post, April 14, 2020. 6. For the investigation over China's role in the spread of the coronavirus, see Adam Taylor, What Caused the Coronavirus, Washington Post, April 16, 2020. Note that Missouri became the first state to sue China. 7. I am indebted to two individuals who helped me understand the civilizational and not just the curricular importance of the trivium. One is the University of Colorado Classics professor, E. Christian Kopf. I came out of my undergraduate study of rhetoric with a fairly conventional view of grammar, dialectic, and rhetoric. I regarded it as merely curricular. On several occasions between 2000 and 2010, I had the privilege of talking with Chris, who transformed my thinking about the trivium's role in the liberal arts. It was not merely curricular, but educational in the deepest sense. The other individual was my graduate mentor, Stephen Tonsor, whose dates were 1923 to 2014. Stephen Tonsor, though he never explicitly put it in terms of the trivium, taught me by his example how to understand and engage Western civilization in such a way as to reflect the structure of the trivium's three elements. 1. At the University of Michigan History Department, Tonsor billed himself as a modern European intellectual historian, and sure enough, he had mastered the grammar or canon of the modern West. 2. More broadly, he called himself a cultural critic, and sure enough, he had mastered the dialectic or the critiques of modernity. And 3, anyone who knew Tonsor personally or through his writing also was aware that he was a fierce polemicist who did not hesitate to apply his erudition to the issues of his day. A complex liberal, conservative, Catholic thinker, a mishmash of those. He believed that many of the critiques of the Judeo-Christian, Greco-Roman, Anglo-American establishment, those critiques were nihilism, Marxism, positivism, Freudianism, scientism, radical relativism, were undermining the very culture that had made such isms possible. He did not let critical modernity go unscathed, and with his sharp tongue and caustic wit, he went straight to his target's heart. Tonser's essays and teaching, we see all three elements of the Trivium. But I did not fully understand his unspoken link with the Trivium's intellectual structure until years after I had left Ann Arbor in graduate school. And that's when Chris Kopf taught me to see grammar, dialectic, and rhetoric as central to the liberal arts and education. That concludes my video essay, The Joy of the Liberal Arts in a Pandemic and Beyond. I'm Gleaves Whitney. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more, and stay safe.